Wiki Wild Arena. Gym Arena, Desperado, doesn't work at all. Anyway, welcome. We're playing WikiArena. You may or may not remember this. WikiArena is a game that had a demo we played maybe 6 months ago. Maybe longer than 6 months ago, actually. Either way, it's out in its actual full Steam release. It's like $2.80 Canadian. Your goal is you're presented with two Wikipedia articles randomly selected. You choose which one either is longer or which one has more views in the past 90 days. Now, we do have, I think we can run the casino on this, okay? Because first, like, for now, can you reach 10 points before being wrong 3 times? That would be considered a victory right now. So sure, you know what? To farm a little engagement artificially, why not? Will we reach 10 points without being wrong 3 times? Because I don't want people to come in here and be like, oh, you said will we reach 10 points? I thought if you got 1 wrong, you wouldn't make it, so I went all in on no, but then you got 2 wrong and you started. So you don't have any dang excuse, okay? You got a minute. Stan Horn is an English footballer who is in his 70s, which means he played in the 70s. Probably the 60s and the 70s. He was the first black player in the history of 2 of his teams, Manchester City and Fulham, and the second to play for Aston Villa. That is a, oh, did I not run the casino? Oh, because it's too long. Hold on. Will we reach 10 points without being wrong 3x? Will we reach 10 points? Open parentheses. We can get 3 wrong. Oh, close parentheses. Exactly 45. She looked like 22, but she really 45. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, MIA is canceled. That's the remix of Paper Planes. But that's Rich Boy's featured verse on MIA's Paper Planes remix. Is Rich Boy canceled? All I know about him is that he threw some D's on it. You can actually only get 2 wrong. You know what I mean. What did MIA do? You don't want to get into it, okay? You just look it up. As far as I'm concerned, you can still listen to, Galang. But, it's really your own desire to separate the art from the artist. Listen, can I play the freaking game here? Don't get me twisted up here, okay? That's for banter sections. Let's get started here. It turns out she did not have the visas in her name. Absolutely true. I came around there. She was not making them all day. And she did not take one down, and I waited, and I did not see a second. I did not see a second, George. Jerry! Okay, so this seems like an English footballer who played for 3 noteworthy teams and was a noteworthy player himself. And then, on the other hand, you have the Penobscot River, a 109-mile-long river in the U.S. state of Maine. So, my personal opinion is that I don't know which article is longer, but I would say that sports probably has more views. Wrong. Not even close. You know what I realize is, like, I've got to remember, there's a lot of people out there like me. Like, I don't look up that many noteworthy figures on Wikipedia. What I do is, like, I Wikipedia whatever food I'm eating. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the history of sausage is. I wonder what country made the first sausage. And then before you know it, you're out here looking at, like, the Nasta Gulch is the 3rd largest gulch in the Duchy of Bohemia. And you're like, how the hell did I end up here? Okay, that's not a good start for me. TV on the Radio discography, great band. This article contains a comprehensive discography of the American rock band TV on the Radio. Here's the thing. A discography as comprehensive as it could not be that long. Even though TV on the Radio album names are like 4 words long, how many do they have? Like a max of like 15, 20? Or the history of women in labor unions? I'm going longer on women in labor unions. This is incalculable to me. How is it possible that the TV and the radio discography is longer than the history of women in labor unions? P-series fuels are a family of renewable non-petroleum liquid fuels that can substitute for gasoline. The blend of methyl tetrahydrofuran, ethanol, and hydrocarbon constitute the P-series fuel. There's a lot of engineering students that might Wikipedia something while they're, like, you know, going through their coursework. On the other hand, you've also got Friedrich Graf von den Schulenburg. He's a Prussian general during World War I and a member of the Nazi Party during the interwar period. Hey, is this one of the ones... Hey, who's the... This is, like, very history pilled. Sorry, I listen to history audiobooks when I fall asleep. Is this the guy who, like, there was a controversy where he was, like, a big part of, like, the Nazi Party, you know, like, also around the start of World War II, but then he had, like, a controversy where he, like, married a woman, but it turns out that, like, she had been divorced first, and they were like, that's controversial, even in an era where some really messed up stuff was happening. He died in 1939, so probably not. I mean, that's not really before the war. I mean, I get it, it's before the canonical start of the war, but you're ignoring the Anschluss, you're ignoring, you know, the Czechoslovakia, you're ignoring the annexation of the Sudetenland. Like, come on. You know, I mean, I get that it's before the invasion of Poland, before England said, okay, fine, we declare war, but there was still some shit going down. Sorry, I forgot we had an Anglo-centric view of the Second World War. Anyway, I'm thinking that military history is probably more interesting to the general populace than P-series fuels. That was so much closer than I thought it would be. I also would have gone longer, to be fair. Like, I would have thought that... Because biographies tend to be longer, I think, than scientific articles. If it's a person of some noteworthiness, at least. Omit data? Don't do that if you're putting the omit data? No, thank you. I'd rather have all of the... I'd rather have a... sorry, is a guitarist and producer from Kolkata. He's also a popular music composer. Now, is he a popular music composer, or does he compose pop music? Well, he's widely acknowledged to be one of the most innovative guitarists around, and toured extensively with the rock band Shiva. Or Children's Laureate, a position initially awarded in the UK once every 2 years to a writer or illustrator of children's books to celebrate outstanding achievement in their field. Hey, why was The Scarecrow nominated for an award? Because it was outstanding in its field. I don't think anybody is going to look up the Children's Laureate on Wikipedia. I'm saying this is omit data. Wrong. There was actually abysmal. I got a total score of 1. I got 1 right and 3 wrong. So let's pay out the doubters and run it back. I honestly thought this would be like a guarantee. I would have bet like 80% belief, 20% doubt. Okay, let's try again. LES record producer is a hip-hop producer commonly associated with Nas and grew up with Nas in the Queensbridge housing project. His first production credit was for Nas's popular song Life's a B-Word. Oh, you mean realizing the realism of life in actuality? Frick, who's the baddest? A person's status depends on salary. My mentality is money orientated. I'm destined to live the dream for all my peeps who never made it. Is that the song you're talking about? Or Reuben Wells. It's a locomotive in the permanent collection of the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, located in Indianapolis, Indiana. It operated for 30 years in Madison, Indiana, pushing train cars up the steepest standard gauge main. Okay, people go crazy for trains. People also go crazy for music. I'm going to say that that's a wash, and I'm going to bet that the train article is longer. Okay, it was close. At least in views, it was close. I know that the bar is not close, but like 1,000 views versus 300. I mean, for me, we're talking about the difference between a CK2 video and an EU4 video. So that's roughly the same to me. 0. Capture the flag is a traditional outdoor sport where 2 or more teams each have a flag. I'm familiar with it. Or the WCG Ultimate Gamer reality TV program that aired on Sci-Fi, sponsored by Samsung and the World Cyber Games. The show was hosted by Hannah Simone and co-hosted by Joel Gordon. The first series began airing on March 10th, 2009. The final episode was March 11th, 2009. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to hydrate briefly. It is hard for me to believe that anybody out there is like, oh, I'm nervous, I gotta play Capture the Flag this weekend. Let me go look up the rule set on Wikipedia real quick. Like, it's a pretty easy game to understand. You just gotta get the flag and then cross the line, right? So I'm thinking that, I mean, Capture the Flag is an interest. I'm maybe overcomplicating it, okay? But in my head, I'm like, is it possible that Capture the Flag is gonna have like a huge history section where it's like originally in Macedonia, Alexander the Great was looking for a way to train his troops, so he like blah 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 blah, and then it's like super long, noteworthy Capture the Flag players, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna say that it's Q, although some like sports articles, and let's call this sports even if it's esports, go like. They have a summary in the main article that's like, in round 1, Faker was playing against JDG, and then Faker went mid lane, and at level 6 he used his Q ability. Like, they have an exhaustive historiography of all this stuff. But I'm gonna say it's Q. I'm gonna say Capture the Flag is longer, much longer, and much more popular. The 1998 CFL season. Okay, as much as Mike Pinball Clemens stays winning, at least in the football context, I don't know if he said some messed up stuff in the intervening like 24 years. I can't imagine this is that popular, but it could be long. Or Alexander Dallas Bach, an American physicist, scientist, and surveyor who erected coastal fortifications and conducted okay. I think, honestly, I bet the CFL article is longer. I'm not going to place a bet on more views. I mean, I literally hit the wrong button. But that's just a brain fart. But also, I would have been wrong, although much more narrowly, if I had done what I wanted to do in the first place. So we'll call that no big loss. Veracruz is officially the free and sovereign state of Veracruz de Ignacio de la Llave, or the 2010-2011 Feyenoord season. So this is a Dutch football team versus a territory. I feel like this is an A&E. I feel like Veracruz is going to have more views from people being like, what the hell is Veracruz? No disrespect. And I feel like Feyenoord's season could be longer. I'm like an A&E. I'm going A on this one, though. It was not A&E. In fact, it was not even close. It was A and Q. But you know what? Whatever. Lee Sul-bi was also known as her ex-stage name, Ga-won, is a South Korean actress, or the Ulu child sexual exploitation scandal. I'm going to say that Lee Sul-bi has more views, and I'm going to get this off the screen as soon as possible. Alex Tizon, by the way, we're already at 1 HP, was a Filipino-American author, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. His book, Big Little Man, or Saline Valley Hot Springs, located in the remote Saline Valley area of Death Valley National Park. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I know I have a skip, but I'm worried that my skip is going to present something worse. I believe that a biography will be longer than a hot springs history. Saved. Louis Comte de Narbonne-Lara was a French nobleman, soldier, and diplomat. Is this the guy that Card Shark was based on? Or KMET FM, a station once owned by Metro Media that broadcast 94.7 megahertz beginning on May 2nd, 1966? This is a big who cares. I'm going to say a nobleman, soldier, and diplomat during the French Revolution. Sorry, millihertz. I guess the megahertz would like kill you, right? That shit would like destroy all of your flesh. No, it's the other way. No, it is. Oh, maybe the millihertz would be worse. Oh man. Oh, you said millihertz. Oh, sorry. I meant a million hertz, which is mega. My mistake. That's what I meant. Hurts, don't it? I'm going to say that Louis Comte de Narbonne-Lara has a longer article. That was way closer than I thought it would be. Baron Bog is a novella by the Austrian author Alexander Learned Holenia, or the Democratic Liberal Party of Japan. Okay, well, so this is a defunct Japanese political party on English Wikipedia, or an author I've never heard of writing a book I've never heard of. I'm taking a huge X on this one. I'm skipping. Captain Lieutenant Walter Schweiger, Wilhelm Otto Walter Schweiger, was a U-boat commander in the Imperial German Navy during the First World War. He's the guy who is the captain who sank the Lusitania. That's a very well-known incident. People could get there like World War I, Lusitania, Walter Schweiger. They could take a very logical series of 3 steps to get a lot of traffic on that. Or the 3rd City of London Battalion London Regiment, a volunteer unit of the British Army under various titles from 1860 to 1961. I'm going to say that this is more views on Schweiger. It's not as noteworthy as I would have thought, but still. Also, 80,000 words on British military history. Put that in your hat for the future. British military history. I feel like there's a lot of 70-year-old English men who are like, time to go to work, honey, and sit down and just like write Wikipedia articles about like Lieutenant John Major was, and then he opened a can of coffee and like, I'm just guessing. The Last Patriot is a thriller written by American novelist Brad Thor. It tells the story of counterterrorism agent Scott with 1 T, Harvat's attempts to uncover a revelation. Okay, let's move on from that one. Or The Armed Forces in Wales. I'm going to say that The Last Patriot is just, its first paragraph is the whole article. Armed Forces in Wales is going to be longer. Let me go E on this one. Safe bet. Okay, we just need 3 more. The Montenegro men's national water polo team, or Jem Allen Cohen, is an Afghan-born American filmmaker based in New York City, especially known for his observational portraits of urban landscapes and blending of media formats. This one's throwing me. I've never heard of Jem Cohen. I was hoping it would be like the director of Avatar, in which case I would be like, I'm gonna go D on that one. Well, let's break this down. It's hard to believe that many people are finding themselves looking up the results of the Montenegro men's national water polo team, but I will say I don't know if the water polo team. I don't know Montenegro's standing when it comes to water polo. I don't know if they're a great team. I don't know if they're a terrible team. I don't know if it's popular. I don't know if it's a niche sport. So I don't know, honestly. They love water polo. They're amongst the best in the world. They're like top 5. In that case, I'm going A. Honest, I'm using chat as a guide and I'm going A. Well. That was scary, but we made it. Dude, they were both pretty close. Don't Look Back in Anger is like an unbelievably popular song written by Oasis versus Fetal Warfarin Syndrome. Now, I'm not going to say that this is not a real thing because it's ignorant, but I have a child and I've never heard of this before. Whereas I have heard of, oh, Sally can't wait, it's too late as it walking on by. So I'm going to say this is A by like a factor of, I bet it's like 10,000 times more viewed. I'm stunned that it's only 32,000 people have looked at this in like the last 90 days. Not everybody out there Wikipedia's every song they listen to that is noteworthy enough to have its own Wikipedia article. It's literally 1984. And dude, this one's for all the marbles. Yusaka Kumadevu. I'm so sorry. Yusaku Kumadevu. Or Isaka Yumadevu. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I'm trying. This is a genuine... I'm genuinely trying, okay? Ninja Zombie, thank you. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. Is a creature from Zulu mythology. She's a bearded, bloated monster who eats every living thing she comes across. They have a monster based on your mom? Said to have a husband of the same name? That's gotta be confusing. Or Roger Williams University, a private university in Bristol, Rhode Island, named for theologian and Rhode Island co-founder Roger Williams. Bro, there's no way. I have to believe that Roger Williams University has a longer article. Like, look, we did it! What else are you gonna say about this monster that you didn't say in the first paragraph? Like, they told the whole story in the first 50 words. Whereas Roger Williams University, I'm sure it's like founding, and then some old dude did something, and they placed a single stone in the ground. That stone is now where the Student Union building is, like... 3 confirmed deaths. So true. Controversies. Notable alumni. 1 newscaster in Alabama. You get the idea. Okay, look at that. We made it. I think we made good use of our skips. We went from 1 to 10. I feel a little bit better. I don't mind glancing in this because I feel like chat also... I mean, they don't have any more information than me. Like, glancing in Sporkle... is one thing. That's like cheating, which is why when I see answers I skip them. But glancing in WikiArena, I'm like, they don't know. Although they did help me with the water polo guess. Rock and Roll Music is a double album by the English rock band The Beatles. It was issued... Okay, so this is a Beatles album from 7 years after they broke up. But they are a very popular band. Or... Did I run the... I'm running the casino. Or Ashigaru, infantry employed by the samurai class of feudal Japan. The first known reference was in the 14th century, but it was during the Ashikaga shogunate in the Muromachi period that the use of Ashigaru became prevalent by various warring... I am betting military history longer. 2 pretty close ones, to be honest. Bats! Bats! By the way, John Lennon said the Beatles are more popular than Jesus Christ. Well, Mr. Lennon, take a look at this. 2022, Japanese military history, more popular than the Beatles, which are more popular than Jesus Christ. It goes Jesus Christ, the Beatles, Ashigaru. Light of foot infantry employed during the Ashikaga shogunate of the Muromachi period. Cryo is from the ancient Greek kryos. Ice, icy, cold, chill, frost. Okay, uses of the prefix cryo. Or Nomads, Indians, Saints. The 3rd studio album by the Indigo Girls. Should I know the Indigo Girls? Like, I've heard of the band. Do they have a song I would know? Yes. Sorry, I'm waiting. They did not make Wonderwall. I've never been to Lilith Fair. I do like Alanis. I don't really care for like Sarah McLachlan. Closer to Fine. I don't know if I know it. I don't know if I'd know it. I think I get the Indigo Girls confused with the Pointer Sisters. The Pointer Sisters are the ones that do like We Are Family, right? And the Indigo Girls is a different thing. Anyway, I feel like the article on the right is like a stub, and the article on the left is like it's an actual entry. So I'm gonna say it's longer on the left. That seems fair to me. Ozyptala is a genus of crab spiders that was first described in 1864, or Emmett Mullins is an Irish national hunt trainer and former jockey based in County Carlow. How is it... What is a hunt trainer? Also, you don't see too many ambiguous birthdays from people that are younger than me. Like, that's some stuff... When you look up a Wikipedia article about someone born in, like, the 1200s, and they're basically like... 1260 question mark? Like, he was born sometime in this period, we think. I'm like, that's fair. But, like, it feels like it should be a little bit easier to figure out their birthdays these days, but whatever. Maybe he's a private guy. Maybe he was born on it. It was a leap year. I guess anything's possible. Or born at 11:59 on New Year's Eve. Anyway, long story short, I have no idea. Former jockey? Is he too old to be a jockey? At age 32? I thought that was a sport where you could actually like get better as you got older. Because you gotta be smaller, and men tend to shrink past a certain age. I feel like we should be seeing like a bunch of like 70-year-old men riding horses. Not in races? Well, like, what do you need to do? It messes up your back and knees? Really? Isn't it? I feel... Maybe I'm being disrespectful, but doesn't the horse do all the work? Like, what do you have to do as the jockey? Like, it's not called jockey racing. The horse rocks you back and forth? Yeah, that's why you got, like, your feet in the stirrups and stuff, right? It doesn't seem that... I mean, it doesn't seem that hard. Compared to, like, you know, if you put me one-on-one with, like, LeBron James... LeBron, honestly, I give him, like, 90% odds he beats me in that matchup. If you put me up against the best jockey in the world, I'd be like, well, what's the difference between our horses? If you gave me the best jockey in the world's horse, I think I could beat the best jockey in the world. They're basically wall sitting for the whole race? Yeah, but like, isn't the race like less than 30 seconds long? This isn't like this isn't a rodeo. It's not like professional bull riding. The horse is not doing 360s or whatever. And you got stuff to hold on to. I honestly think I would be okay. No, if I drove an F1 car, I would be... First off, I don't even know how to shift. So I would probably... Like, the car would explode before it even moved off the starting line. If I managed to make it, like, to the point where I was moving... I'm sure just touching the gas pedal would have me going at like 200 kilometers an hour. I would crash into the wall. I probably would not die because they're so engineered for safety, but like the car wouldn't stand a chance. There's a very realistic chance I would get an injury, I assume, but anyway. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Try standing on the armrest on your chairs and going 40 kilometers an hour down a gravel road. What, do I have something to hold on to? And can I clip my feet into the armrests? That doesn't, I mean, I'm already, like, you look at the Peloton back here. I'm going like 30 kilometers an hour with my feet clipped in, holding onto the handlebars out of the saddle, and I'm the one doing the damn work. I'm the one pushing the damn pedals and generating the watts. You're not moving? No, Einstein. I'm moving a lot. The bike is stationary. My ass is mobile. +2, +2. Anyway, I don't have an answer. I've just been stalling. I honestly, for me, this is a skip. I got no idea. I'm skipping. Sulu Sea, a body of water in the southwestern area of the Philippines, or Brandy Lauren, a 26-year-old professional wrestler who worked for Impact Wrestling. Now, this is, I'm not insulting Impact Wrestling, but I feel like if this was WWE, it's lights out. I'm going more views on a WWE diva. Do they still call them that, or do they call them like something less insulting, less condescending? They just call them people. They just call them wrestlers. They were known as all women's wrestlers were known as divas until like 2014 or something. But anyway, I'm still gonna bet more views on the wrestler, quite frankly. It was close, but BNY Mellon Center in Pittsburgh, a 55-story skyscraper in downtown Pittsburgh. It's the second tallest building in the city. Or the 2017 Aragon Motorcycle Grand Prix. What is this, like Lord of the Rings? It was the 14th round of the 2017 MotoGP season held at the Ciudad del Motor del Aragon in Alcañiz in September 24th, 2017. People love MotoGP. No one you know watches MotoGP. Everyone you don't know watches MotoGP. I could not tell you anyone in my life who watches this, but on Twitter, if you wake up at like 4 a.m. Pacific time and log on to Twitter, they're like, horrific crash. And you're like, seems to happen a lot. I didn't know there were this many MotoGP enthusiasts surrounding us. I only know MotoGP from the demo that came with the Xbox Live subscription in like 2002. And that MotoGP on Xbox Live went hard. There was only one course in the demo, but they let you play online. That was so novel at the time, man. Anyway, who would love to know your thoughts on this? I would say people love MotoGP. People also love buildings. I feel like just based on the start of this, it feels like the article on the left is done. Like there's not going to be like a subheading that's like history, origins, building complications, blah, 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 blah. Because it has some of the information built into like the first paragraph, which to me indicates that it's more of a summary. The Aragon Motorcycle Grand Prix, I'm not saying it's going to be very long, but it has, you know, like last year, practice, qualification, results, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say that it's E. An astute observation. History of the English penny, or the Winchester Model 1903, the first commercially available semi-automatic firearm made by the Winchester Corporation. Okay, I think both of these articles could be popular. I'm going to say the gun is more popular. People not that into the penny. November 9 is the final 9 contestants at the final table of the main event of the World Series of Poker from 2008 to 2016, or Sally Ridge, a New Zealand socialite currently working as a real estate agent in Auckland City. Really? You can be a real estate agent with a and have a Wikipedia article? Yeah, that's a good point. They still make socialites? I thought that ended in like the 1920s. Like a socialite is just rich person minus job, right? What about Paris Hilton? I don't think Paris Hilton is like a socialite. She had a job. She had a couple jobs. I know that sounds like I'm making a double entendre about how she became famous, but I'm not really. Like, she was on TV. She's an actress. She's in House of Wax. The Kardashians, they're actresses. I thought a socialite was like, what's your job? Oh, my job is being the granddaughter of somebody who like owned a steel mill. So now mostly I just like own a big house and invite people over with catering. Like I thought that's what a socialite is. My job is being the granddaughter of someone who owned a steel mill. What about Paris Hilton? Paris Hilton is not, she is an actress. She was in House of Wax. She's still getting royalty checks every time someone watches it on Tubi. I know, just because if your grandfather owns a hotel company, that doesn't make you a socialite by default. I thought a socialite was like the base case, where when you wash out of other industries, you're like, okay, now my job is a full-time socialite. I don't think you can be a socialite in something else, because if you have a job, you're no longer a socialite. You're actually contributing to society in some way. Yeah, plus she made perfume and she sang that song that is not good but goes harder than you would expect a Paris Hilton song to go. Maybe if the gods are crazy, maybe if the stars are blind, if you show me real love, baby, I'll show you mine. Anyway, yeah, I have no idea, but I think it's possible that with 8 years of poker history, about 9 people per year, that article could be longer. There you go. Dude, I'm glad I didn't go more views, less views. That's a freaking toss-up. Neo-geography is the use of geographical techniques and tools for personal and community activities or by a non-expert group of users. That's funny because neo-geography sounds like the name of an album that annoying people try to get me to listen to. Or The Book of the Unnamed Midwife, a post-apocalyptic feminist novel written by American author Meg Ellison, published in 2014 by Sybaritic Press. It won the Philip K. Dick Award for Distinguished Science Fiction. That's a noteworthy award. But neo-geography, on the other hand, that's like, geography is the subject that they teach in schools. So maybe some people found themselves on neo-geography by accident. This is a tough one for me. Like A or D, I don't know. Q or E, I don't know. And I don't have a skip. Like neo-geography could be like, here's links to other things. Or it could be, here's the entire gist of what the science is. It depends on, like, it's in a weird way, if neo-geography is a robust field of study, the article's probably shorter and stubs out to like other articles. Whereas if it's just sort of like a thing that like one guy came up with, then like that whole thing could be in the article and make it very long. Whereas the Book of the Unnamed Midwife, I mean, books can go either way. Sometimes you go to like a book Wikipedia article and it has like the whole story arc summated, and sometimes it's just like a lady had a bad day and then you got to read the book to see what happens. So I don't know. I'm going to go that because it won the most noteworthy science fiction award in recent history, I bet it has more views. I'm going D. Now, it was very close. Both of those were pretty close. I'm happy with the way that went down. Gliosarcoma is a rare type of brain cancer, or a list of newspapers in Israel. This is tough. You would think that there wouldn't be that many newspapers. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 500 newspapers in Israel. Am I dating myself? Am I... Is that something that someone from, like, the 1950s would say? I think there could be... Even, like, just in Vancouver, there's probably 30 newspapers. There's, like, 4 real ones. And then there's, like, a bunch that they just, like, throw on the street outside of the SkyTrain stations and stuff like that. 30's a lot less than 500. Well, I'm pretty sure Vancouver has less people than Israel. Don't quote me on that one. I don't want to do that with WikiArena either. Metro's a real newspaper. Brother, come on. I'll give you the province. I'll give you the Vancouver Sun. I'm trying to think of what else there is. Maybe there's not 5 real newspapers. I'm going more views on the brain cancer. Wrong, by the way. Wrong. I would have been wrong the other way too, though. Woodstock House and Estate is a derelict Georgian house in Ireland. Okay, Grand Designs tells me that people from the United Kingdom and the British Isles love to look up old houses. And the more derelict, the better. Or the Tazkirat al-Awliya is the biographies of the saints. A hagiographic collection of 96 Sufi saints and their... Okay, so this is like religious literature or a house in... Not a house, an estate. An estate in Ireland. I feel like there's a collection of 96 stories. I gotta go longer on that one. What? Are you kidding me? $8,000 words on the Woodstock estate? That's too much, man. It's just a house. It's just 4 walls and a roof. Bytes, not words. Okay, just say characters. Bytes. Listen. Somebody's feeling themselves today. Run me back. Chuck Washington is an American politician from California. Has there ever been a more American name than this? Of course he's in politics. His name is Chuck Washington. He serves on the Riverside County Board of Supervisors. With all due respect, I'm sorry, I thought you were a senator. I'm sure you're living like you're living a powerful life in Riverside County, California, but I thought you were like a big shot. The Board of Supervisors in Riverside County. What do you control? Like how many cases of Pepsi they're gonna order for the county fair, or the Zahia Fair? A series of legal proceedings that took place in France in 2010 involving several players of the French football team and Zahia Dahar, a former prostitute who... There's no way that has less views than Chuck Washington, the Board of Supervisors comptroller from Riverside County, California. 305 people are looking up Chuck Washington. That seems crazy to me. It's just him, it's his homepage every day. In Microsoft Edge. Okay, don't even start with me. Burt Reynolds is a very famous actor who popularized the mustache. That's going to be more views on Burt Reynolds. No disrespect to Andre Agassi, who lost to Andres Gomez, apparently. 392,000 views. That's like the most we've had so far. Okay, we got 4U 1543-475, a recurrent X-ray transient. It's a member of a black hole binary and is in the constellation of Lupus. Is this a medical thing or an astronomy thing? First you're talking about X-rays, then you're talking about black holes, then you're talking about lupus. I don't know. I can't keep it straight, man. Its optical counterpart is IL Lupi. Outburst from 4U 1543-475 was first observed by Uhuru in 1971. Dead ass with God as my witness. Is that not from Star Trek now? Is that not one of the original crew from Star Trek? That's Uhura? Is it like a Nidorina type thing? I don't know if this is fiction, if this is sci-fi or just sci, or if it's medical. I don't know what to say, man. Or Kyle Prater, an American football wide receiver who is currently a free agent. He attended Proviso West High School in Hillside, Illinois, and was a 5-star football, I'm going to assume that says recruit. Okay, so he's like 30. He's a wide receiver, but it says he's currently a free agent. Here's what my spidey sense is telling me. Why does it not mention an NFL team that he was on? Why does it start with his high school career? That indicates to me that he probably didn't make a big splash in the pros, which is fine, but it indicates to me that he might be not that popular for looking him up on Wikipedia, at least. Or, well, listen, I don't think anybody's looking up 4U 1543-475. How many astrophysicists are there in the world? There's got to be like, I don't know, like 5,000 maximum. This is just like a star, right? What even is an X-ray transient? It's just a celestial object. It's kind of complicated. Okay, well, spell it out for me. Traveling X-rays? I need more than that. It's a celestial object that shoots out X-rays. Okay. It turns out, fair enough. I don't really know what the... You're right, it is complicated. Fair enough. It's a star that occasionally shoots out X-rays. All right. I'm going longer on the football player. I just think it's easier to write, 7,000 characters. First, he went to high school where he was voted second team All-Star in 2008, and then he went to college and he got injured in Game 6, and whereas this is like, nobody knows what the hell's going on with 4U 1543-475. Like, if people knew what was going on with it, or if it was noteworthy, like, they wouldn't call it that. They would call it, like, Bill's X-Ray Star or something. We'd be like, that's Bill's star, dude, relax. End of the Line, a Traveling Wilburys song. It's a noteworthy band. Or a Peruvian former goalkeeper. He last played for Universitario de Deportes. So he's a Peruvian goalkeeper who last played for a college team. Is that correct? No? Universitario de... Maybe it's the sports university? Some pro teams are named after universities here. Okay, my mistake. It's a little confusing. But, don't let me be the judge, I guess. I'm not trying to underrate the popularity of football, especially in, like, South America. My North American-centric mind makes me think that Well, here's the thing. The Traveling Wilburys were popular. End of the Line is not their biggest song. Their biggest song is Handle with Care. So I would be more likely to ignore views on this one and go that biography beats a history of a song. So I'm going longer on the never mind. I should have gone more. I should have not acknowledged my North American bias and instead just gone with my gut. I was worried. I did a second order guess. And my second order guess was if I guess end of the line and it's wrong, people are going to be like, football's really popular in Peru, NL, just so you know. And I would be like, oh, sorry, I guess I'm just another ignorant North American. But then instead, I was like, let's ignore that. I should have just gone with the first principle, man. Hootenanny, the Replacements album, or The Governor of Tetuan between 1515 and 1542. Well, The Replacements is a great band. The best album is not Hootenanny, though. It's Let It Be. Either way, I gotta go with music here. We're going A. NL. Actually, Sayyida Al-Hurra is extremely popular in Tetuan. He's considered one of the greatest treasurers we've ever had. Nobody knows who the Replacements are. All right, well, I'm in trouble. A list of travel magazines or the Oklahoma City metropolitan area. There's a 0% chance that Oklahoma City Metro loses in popularity to travel magazines. I'm going D. That's a guaranteed. Hitchcock Truffaut is a 1966 book by Francois Truffaut about Alfred Hitchcock. Okay. There's two very noteworthy filmmakers, two of the most noteworthy, versus It Girl, an attractive young woman who's perceived to both have sex appeal and a personality that's especially engaging. Call me crazy on this one. I don't know what wins A versus D. But I think that It Girl would be a longer article, so I'm going E. I honestly would have gone It Girl with more views, too. Like, if the article was Alfred Hitchcock, then that's going to have more views than It Girl. But a book written by two noteworthy filmmakers versus a concept that people might be like, what the heck is an It Girl? Who was the first It Girl? What's the history? I can understand that. Denver Pioneers men's soccer, a Division I men's soccer team, or Anno 1800, which is a very well-known, liked video game. I gotta go D on this one. That was not even close. Okay. Well, we're on 6. We need to get 4 right with no skips. Flora Yuknovich is a British painter known for her contemporary interpretation of the Rococo painting style. Okay. A British painter who is more accomplished than me despite being 2 years younger. Or Women in the Nepalese Civil War from 1996 to 2006. You're right, I do have a skip. It's like biography versus recent military history, which makes me like military history is long usually, and it's recent, which means the access to information is more available. But biographies tend to be long too, man. But I also sort of feel like if you're an artist, like if you're a painter in 2022 with your own Wikipedia article, you must be pretty popular. So I'm gonna go A. Dude, that pretty close, but I'll take it. Lee Bitna is a South Korean actress. Or Austin Davis Warren. Dude, is an American professional baseball pitcher for who? For who? Because the team name is way more important. If it's like he plays for the Yankees, I'm going D. If it's like he plays for the Myrtle Beach, mud crocodiles, then I'm going A. I don't know, man. You know what I will say? I bet that as popular as Korean media and culture are right now, it has a worldwide popularity. A lot of that popularity is in Korea. A lot of it is in a lot of it is worldwide. I'm not trying to, draw delineations between us. I feel like based on what I see on Twitter, a lot of it is in South America. They're not going to be on English Wikipedia. Like it's going to be spread out across multiple languages rather than consolidated in English. Whereas all baseball popularity is going to be like in English or like, well, Korean, Japanese, or Spanish, or Portuguese, or okay. But like I think it's going to be. I'm going to bet that the baseball biography is longer at the very least. I'm very glad I did not bet on popularity. That was way more of a toss-up than I thought it was. Somebody tell me what E. Bitna's most noteworthy work is. Was she in Extraordinary Attorney Woo? I was laughing. There's I forget. I think listen, it's a very old investment guy I follow on Twitter. I've heard him on a couple of podcasts. He's always talking about interest rates and bonds and stuff like that. I saw him, he tweets like once every 8 months. I saw him tweet a couple months ago. Just saw 2 episodes of Extraordinary Attorney Woo on Netflix. In my opinion, it's a must-watch show. I was laughing my ass off, dude. It's not that the show is necessarily bad. I was just picturing this old, like, finance pilled dude watching the show and being like, this shit is amazing. I gotta tweet about this, like, ASAP. All of my followers who follow me to figure out how to do, like, a barbell structure in bonds need to know that this show is amazing. Anyway. United States District Court for the Western District of Arkansas, all right, or Bryn Mawr Hospital, a 264-bed acute care hospital located in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. It's been named amongst the finest hospitals in the Philadelphia region. Congratulations to the Bryn Mawr Hospital. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of like X on this one. I just don't... I would assume that the hospital article is more popular because more people live in Pennsylvania than Western Arkansas. And then, like, a hospital is a building more people are familiar with versus the District Court for the Western District of Arkansas. No, I talked myself into going with the hospital. Ah! I would have gone longer on the hospital article, too, honestly. I can't believe we only got 8 on that one. Who's looking this kind of... I'm a Wikipedia freak. And who's looking this kind of shit up? Are you like going to the court and you're like, oh, better learn about its history real quick? Judge, this court was founded on the principles of 1906. I would not come in here and besmirch your honor and decorum. It's just like, I don't know what you're... I don't know who's Wikipediaing this. It just seems crazy. Jacques-Fabien Gauthier d'Agoty, a French anatomist, painter, and printmaker. I miss the days where you could be like a Renaissance man. Nowadays, you got to do like 20 years of school, and you're like, I'm a neo-geographer. That's it. I don't even bake bread. I don't have time for that. Back in the day, if you were like a smart guy, you could be like an artist, an engineer, an inventor, a doctor. You could do it all. And you died when you were like 47. Sash discography. The discography of Sash, a German DJ. In 1996, Sash released It's My Life, which became a European club hit. Is this the song from all of the YouTube soccer highlights compilations? You know, the one that's like... You know what I mean? You know which one I'm talking about. I go biography. I go biography long. Oh, it wasn't even close. This dude, Jacques Fabian de Gote Diago T, didn't do shit, man. Sash has 20,000 characters. Nightmare, the 2000 Korean film. Gawi. Scissors, also known as horror game movie, released in the Philippines as Gawi the Nightmare. Excuse me? Nightmare, Korean, Gawi. RR, Gawi. Lit, Scissors, also known as horror game movie, released in Philippines as Gawi: the Nightmare. Is this a Magic the Gathering card, or is this a Sufjan Stevens song title? That would have been better. Speaking outrageously, I'm watching Gawi, transliteral scissors, horror game film. Sorry. It stars Kim Gyu-ri, Ha Ji-won, and Choi Jung-yoon, and was directed and written by somebody. Chris Culliver is a former American cornerback. He was drafted in the 3rd round. Kristen LeBaron Culliver II. Great name. And he's not washed. He could make it in the league. I say that because he's got the same birth year as me. So he's like, honestly, he's probably just entering his prime right now. He's 34. He's getting his second wind. He's retired by choice because he was so good that he had the option to retire early to preserve his cranial health. For sure. But he could be, he would be like in his prime if he was still playing. But he doesn't have to play. He's spry. Like, he's quick. I'm not necessarily betting against a Korean movie on popularity. I'm more betting that a 34-year-old former NFLer has a longer article. Because in the movie articles, they don't want to put spoilers. Damien Cook is a former Australian professional rugby league footballer who plays as a what? He's not former, by the way. I don't know where that came from. He plays as a what? For the South Sydney Rabbitohs in the NRL. Or Muhammad I of Cordoba. He was the Umayyad Emir of Cordoba from 852 to 886. That's a long career, man. In the Al-Andalus, Moorish Iberia. Okay. This is, with all disrespect, I don't feel comfortable saying the word hooker. I don't know why it comes out so violent. I believe in rugby, so there's something called a scrum, where two groups of men just bump into each other with a ball in the middle. I feel like the hooker is the tiny guy at the front who tries to crawl between their legs and go like this. He goes like that to try to get the ball out of the scrum to like a winger who then starts to run or something. Is that correct? No, they use their legs. He hooks the ball with his foot. Okay. You know, I'm not a rugby guy. I know that it's very popular. They have the sevens here in Vancouver. I don't know if it's annually or if we just got it like 7 years in a row or something like that. So, like, you see it all the time or now and then. But one thing I definitely respect about rugby is having to kick the extra point from the location that you crossed into the end zone. I think that would make the NFL a little bit more interesting. Like if you scored a touchdown, if your wide receiver barely eked in on the corner and you got a touchdown, guess what? Now Adam Vinatieri has to do a 25-yard extra point from like 10 yards left of where the actual midline is. That would be cool. Imagine the same with basketball fouls. Dude, that would be kind of sick too. Anyway, I don't know the answer to this. I'm going to say, listen. Muhammad I of Cordoba. Cordoba is a major city, province in Spain. He ruled for 34 years. They probably got a history of this man? I'm going E. I'm going longer on history of the Moors. That was not even, they didn't even give me a moment of hope. It was like, as soon as I pressed the button, they're like, wrong, idiot. The one chip MSX, or one chip MSX, as the D4 Enterprise distributional name for the ESE MSX System 3, is a re-implementation of an MSX2 home computer that uses a single FPGA. This is some shit about a golf computer? Or Solitaire, but not the board game, or the card game, The Bird. The solitaires are medium-sized insectivorous birds in the genera Myadestes, Cyclopsis, and Entomodestes of the thrush family Turdidae. Turdidae. This bird got screwed, man. They named it after a card game and said, we don't know where to put it, just put it in the Turdidae. I think Solitaire Bird gets more views by accident. Alright, I got 1 point. That was not good. Say no on that one. My mistake. Will we get 10 points? This is a psycho casino, man.